I want to talk about the power of possibility. And if you'll turn to Luke chapter 8, actually, a lot of this I've shared in at different times, but I was just thinking about it. I woke up this morning actually thinking about the power of possibility. In fact, I'll probably just quote it later. But this phrase was running through my mind this morning when I woke up, probably an hour after I woke up. I wasn't preparing for a message or anything. I was just walking through the front room, getting ready for work this morning. And I heard, before you think you can, you have to think you should. In other words, before you think you can change the world, you must think you should change the world. If you think you're not supposed to be, if you think you're not supposed to be relevant to the world, you won't wonder if you can be. Can I read it again? I just ran in and got my phone and I wrote it down this morning. Before you think you can, like you can do something, or God can do something, or it can happen. Are you with me? The power. Before you think you can, you have to think you should. In other words, before you think you can change the world, as an example, you must think you should change the world. If you think you're not supposed to be relevant to the world, you won't wonder if you can be. I think this is really important for us. I've had this passion. A lot of us on our team, most of us on our team, have this passion to really make an impact on believers, but also on cities and on nations. And I believe it's on the Lord's heart. But I think there's a reason. I think there are many reasons, but one of the reasons that I think that believers haven't had the impact. We haven't had the impact that we could, or not, in my opinion, should have on the world, is because we often don't think we're supposed to. In other words, we've read verses like, come out and be separate, and thought that meant dark. We shouldn't be in dark places. And I think that the only reason dark places stay dark is because we're not there. And so what I'm getting at is that before you can actually find the full possibility of your impact and God's impact in your life, you have to ask yourself, is it okay to do that? Is it okay to be a politician? Is it okay to be a business person? Is it okay to be an actor or an actress? Like, if I don't think it's okay, if I don't think I should, I'm not going to ask if I can. If I don't think God wants to heal me, then I'm not going to ask God if he can heal me, because I've already answered the first question as no, and therefore I don't reach my full possibility. Am I making any sense? So this morning I was just thinking about, I just woke up to that phrase, for me, people will often say, well, how do you know, one of the most asked questions when we're teaching prophetic, how do you know what's you and how do you know what's the Lord? And I have lots of answers to that question. I obviously wrote a couple of books on it, and we teach on it often, and I don't know that there's just one right answer. One of the ways I know the Lord's talking to me is when he talks to me about a subject I am not thinking about at all, and I'm not in revelation mode. Everyone know what I mean by revelation mode? I think Bill talked about it this morning, about asking God a question and hardly ever gets the answer when he asks. Like, you're just walking. For me, like, I will often be in my wood shop working on a project that doesn't take a lot of brain activity, and all of a sudden start getting all these ideas. And for me, that's very often the Lord's speaking to me when I'm not expecting it, about a subject maybe I haven't even asked about, or asked about months before. Have you ever had the Lord answer a question you even forgot you asked? I'm like, I'm not even passionate about the answer anymore. And the Lord's like, hey, would you want to know? I'm like, I wanted to know that 8 months ago. And so I want to talk a little bit about the power of possibility. And so if you're in Luke chapter 8, we're just going to look at one verse. It's a verse that I've used several times in different ways, but let me read it. Verse 18 of chapter 8 of Luke. So take care how you listen. So take care of how you listen. For whoever has, to him more shall be given, and whoever does not have, even what he thinks he has, shall be taken away from him. I don't know that I'm going to do anything on the second part of that verse, which I've taught a lot on, but this part. So take care how you listen.